I'm Joey.T.Cartoon.P and you're watching the Cartoon Palooza. Well, it's still the middle of October and we still have some spooky cartoons to look into. One in particular is 9, a film that proudly proclaims that it's not your little brother's animation. Well, I don't have a little brother, so I'm guessing it's made for me. Maybe it's gonna be smutty like Fritz the Cat, or needlessly violent like Akira. Whatever the case, the build-up's great. I mean, I'm done watching all these kids films. I can finally watch something made for me. I gotta check it out again. That was kind of a letdown. I mean, talk about false advertising. This movie promised me a dark, gritty, mature movie, and yet Don Bluth has been making these movies darker than this. If you didn't know, 9 is based on a short film by animator Shane Acker, whose work previous to this was a messed up in a good way, The Hangnail, and some little film called Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. Have you heard of it? What do I have to say about the original short, other than that it's awesome? I mean, in 10 minutes, Shane manages to tell an epic adventure of a doll fighting a mechanical cat that wears the skin of his fallen comrades. If that doesn't sound like a hardcore premise, I don't know what is. It got nominated for an Academy Award, and it also got the attention of Tim Burton and Tim Bekmambetov to back him up as producers to turn the short into a feature film. I mean, it sounds legitimate. I mean, what bad has these guys done together? Let's watch the movie. So our movie begins and we're off to a good start. 9 the doll walks around taking in his surroundings, and we're left with a neat sequence without dialogue, much like the original short. Unfortunately, when 9 meets up with another like him, the characters can talk.
With us? I never expected to see another one. There, that should hold. If 2 were here, he would have done a better job. I wonder where he's gone to.
Each of these burlap saps from Tim Burton's toy collection are what's left of humanity after Skynet takes over civilization. I'm not hamming that up, that's essentially what happens. The scientist who creates 9 and the gang was responsible when he created a corrupt mother brain that started to make its own robots, bent on destroying humanity. You could pretty much play the score to Terminator and it would pretty much complete this movie. Once humanity seemed to take a deep end, the scientist split his soul into 9 pieces that each take its own personality. One is a dictator, another one's brainy, another one's the brawn, the other one's a crazed artist. And the rest! Though to be fair, the one played by Crispin Glover has to be one of my favorites, since the guy's pretty much voicing himself. We discover that one is voiced by Christopher Plummer is using fear to control others, which results in one of them leaving the group and him marooning 2 for standing against him. Looks like Christopher Plummer is channeling another performance in this role. And yeah, guess which group he's stereotyping.
How dare you challenge me? I, who kept everyone safe all these years. Ever since you got here, everything has been unraveling. You're a curse, a fool, guided by pointless queries.
And you are a blind man, guided by fear.
I love Fox News. Look at my popey looking heart. I'm old, Christian, conservative, and coincidentally white. I'd say it's a subtle stab at old white conservatives, but you'd have to be blind not to see how blunt it is. His headquarters a church, he uses the fear of others for his own selfish purposes, and everyone is just a means to an end. It's probably intentional that the character would represent such an overblown stereotype, since the scientist split his soul into overblown stereotypes. Though throughout this film, it's 9 discovering the truth behind his existence, fighting the mother brain and the cronies it puts in their direction. I actually love throughout the film, the mother brain starts off as a copy of the Queen from Aliens, and then slowly progresses into the Brundlefly. Just as long as they're not featuring any tortured pooches like in The Fly 2, I can handle this. Also, there's a subplot where 9 and another get into a relationship. I don't... The dolls, how did they... Just play Coed and Cambria and get it over with. I think this movie suffers from what a lot of adaptations from short to feature films do, and that's the lack of substance it's dispersed over a needlessly long period of time. Well, I'll admit that some of it was interesting, like the monsters that the heroes have to fight off. I mean, the designs and origins is what makes this admission worth it alone. Made from garbage and the dead. I mean, that's pretty hardcore. I even feel bad for the Mother Brain, whose power is corrupted for the corruptible, which is essentially the theme of the film. I remember Shane Acker in an interview explaining that 9 represents the closest humanity goes from perfection on a scale of 1 to 10 before going to hell and starting all over again. It's a great theme, but I think it's been done before in other animated movies like Akira, since the movie wasn't afraid to go the extra mile to tell a dark and gritty story. 9 feels like it's constantly held back that it's where that younger kids are going to see the movie. Characters die, but they're brought back to the end, so it's all good, kids. Even as far as darker scenes in the movie goes, it's nothing short from what nightmare-fueled Don Bluth put in his movies. As far as the short to feature goes, one of the downside is our leader 9. I really didn't find him that interesting of a character since his motivation in the short film was more condensed. Kill the cat for the vengeance of his lost comrades. Here it's a totem of power that needs to be knocked down, not fighting the villain Predator style, and a whole lot of other elements that feel more like distraction than getting to the point. Did I think this movie was a complete waste of time? Oh, hell no. But as far as comparisons go from the feature film to the short, you're better off watching the short film, so as far as the full movie, you might as well forget about it. So I gotta be honest with you, with all these movies I've been watching throughout October, I was expecting something worse. So far it's been pretty good. I mean, when's the really bad stuff? Ah, crud.